Welcome to How to Get Started, Part 2. Today we're doing SWOT analysis. So the group will be broken into small sessions, and then we'll take those small group sessions and we'll have them to talk to each other about how they can improve their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Come go with us. So SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So it runs you do these usually when you're doing a marketing strategy or when you're doing a comparative analysis between you and your competitors, okay? So a SWOT analysis, you look at the first two, the S and the W, are for internal, okay? You can also use SWOT analysis for personal development as far as your personal strengths and weaknesses. Then the O and the T are external. So the O and the T would be opportunities and threats, and we'll talk about those. We're going to use this sheet, and you're actually going to do some writing, because this is going to be really intense. I'm going to put you first, I'm going to cover the first part with you. We're going to go through the initial assessment together, just so I make sure that you are on the right page of what I want you to get out of this. And then I'm going to put you in a small group and let you work amongst each other. And then we're going to come back together, and then we're going to go over, because I want to make sure that your takeaway is what I want you to take away. Okay? Because I want you to actually have action. This is all about how to get going, right? So I'm going to make sure that when you walk out the door, you have tools that you can use to get going. That's my objective. Because yesterday you all told me your expectations. I want to make sure I meet that. That's my objective, is to make sure that we meet that. So let's talk about your strengths. When you're talking about your strengths, and we look at internal, right? So whether you're looking at your business or whether you're looking at yourself. If you're doing personal development, you're looking at yourself. If you're talking about your business, you're looking at your business. If we're talking about strengths, what do you do well? Or what does your business do well? What is that you're doing well? Those are your strengths. What do you bring to the marketplace? Or what do you bring to the marketplace as far as an employee, if you're talking about being hired? What do you do well? What do people always say? You do a good job on that. And you can hear that from the people that you serve. What do you do well? People always say, oh, you're a good gatherer, or you're a good this, or you're a good that. What is that? That's the positives. What is that? That you do very well. And so that's what's going to be your strength. Also, what do you do that's uniquely to you? Because no matter, I tell my business owners, you can open a hot dog stand, and there can be 30 hot dog stands out there. In fact, one of my clients is he does body detail, right? He's on a row of body detailers. But nobody brings your story to the marketplace but you. They can have the exact same product, but they don't bring your story. Yesterday we talked about your why. They won't have your why, because they're not you. So their life experience would be vastly different from yours. And that's the uniqueness between you and your competitor. And so when I'm coaching someone, I teach them how to capitalize on that uniqueness, how to make that uniqueness a competitive edge, right? So what is it that you uniquely do, that you bring to the marketplace, that your competitor doesn't have? And if it's nothing else, it's your own story. Nobody can bring your story to the marketplace but you. In the form of your why. And like I said, again, what do others say about you? What do they say when they look at your strengths? Because you hear it, because people say it to you all the time, and we brush it off, and we're embarrassed by it because it makes us feel some kind of way. But people always say, well, you're this or you're that. They give you those words of encouragement and empowerment. What do you hear all the time about you? And it doesn't matter who you're talking to. People tell you that same thing over and over and over again. What is that they say about you? Oh, you're a great organizer. Oh, you have a voice. Oh, you have this or you have that. What is that thing that people say about you? That is your strength. And when they say it about your business, what are they saying about your business? Oh, I like the way you X. Fill in the blank, whatever that is. So what is that? That's going to be the strength of your business. And then what are you proud or really like about your business? What are you proud or really like about yourself? What is it that you really get about you? You're like, yeah, you bad about that. That's good. That's a good thing. Some people say it's self-centered. It's not. It's only if you're arrogant with it. But you have to, like I said, sometimes you have to be the only cheerleader in the room. So you have to learn how to celebrate yourself, right? So what is that? What is that thing that you're like, yeah, I got that? And you can feel good about yourself, about that one thing, because you know you do it well. Time and time again, effortlessly, you do it well. You don't have to think about it, you can do that on automatic. What is that thing? That's going to be your strength. So you're going to list that there as well. Now let's go to the other side of that. The other side of that is, what are your weaknesses? And we all have them. And it's okay. Because weaknesses shows us opportunities to improve, right? And recognizing what they are. So, what thing could you do better? What thing, when every time you say, well, I could do this better, I could show up more, I could be more prompt, I could be, what is that weakness? What is that thing that you need to do better? What is it that you won't confront? You avoid. You're like, don't want to deal with that. So you make a workaround to not have to deal with it. What is that? Sometimes it's commitment. Sometimes it's money, finances, dealing with it. Sometimes it's just problems. People just don't want to deal with problems. Like, if I don't deal with it, it'll go away. So what is that? It's recognizing you being self-aware is a part of being a strong business owner. What is that? And I tell you about that because you need to be able to understand what that is. Because when you're building a team, your team need to complement your weaknesses, right? Because you don't want a person that's a yes man and duplicate of you. You'll have fun together, but you won't get anything done, right? You'll have a great time together. You all will be just alike. Y'all will know each other's buttons and everything, but you won't be able to move. You'll wonder why we have so much fun, but we're not selling any product. So, but we have a good time together. So what is that? What is it? And then what are others doing better than you? Like you see people in the same industry as you. And this is the one time I'm giving you permission to compare, because comparison is really the enemy of progress, right? Comparison is really the enemy of success, because sometimes we look at comparison and it shuts us down. So I don't want it to shut you down right here. We're just taking a critical look at the whole situation, and we're saying, okay, people who usually do what I'm doing, they do this, or they have that. And we're taking an objective look, and we're putting it as one of our weaknesses, a place that we need to improve. What is that? And then, what are others likely to see as a weakness? And sometimes we can be very cruel and very harsh on ourselves. Like where I work, my full-time job, they give me my performance assessment to do, to complete myself. And I have yet to sit down with my boss and him not say, you didn't have to put that there. Because we're our worst critic, right? Because we go in, because we know all the skeletons and everything, so we go in on ourselves. And so sometimes we're a little bit too critical on ourselves, right? We get too deep. So what is it that we think that others will see about us? What weaknesses that we think that others will catch? And I can tell you one thing. A lot of times when you're a business owner, there's a feeling like they're going to find out that I'm a fraud, that I really don't know all I think I know. they're gonna find that feeling, the bigger you become a success, the more you get that feeling. Like they're gonna find out, I'm a fraud. And what if they discover I don't know all I think I know? Everybody has that. So it's not uniquely yours. None of us know everything. But the things that we know. So rest in the confidence that you know what you know. And that you don't know, you'll learn. Or you'll have somebody around you who does. So have that confidence in knowing that you have everything that you need to know to do what you need to know. And if you don't, there's somebody else that knows it. And that's why you build a team. That's why it's important for this part of the assessment, is that you know what those weaknesses are and that you identify them for what they are so that you're able to build a team that complements you, that complements your weaknesses. It's being honest with yourself and saying, I don't know everything, and that's fine. One thing I like about Bill Gates, and he admits this himself, is that he said, I'm not as smart as people think I am, but I'm smart enough to have smart people around me. And it makes him look good, right? Because smart people know you're only as smart as you make your boss look. What do you need to face up to? Like I said, you're looking at yourself, and this is a self-assessment. All of this is internal stuff. And sometimes we don't do that because I don't know if we're afraid of seeing what we're really like, or we think that's a flaw. But the only way that you can fix a flaw is to recognize that you have a flaw, right? Because part of the cure is recognizing that you have the illness. So you have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, I do this. One thing that people say all the time about me is that I'm bossy. And I am. And my boys, they'll call, we have family meetings, my crew. So we have family, if there's a problem that the family needs to do, me and my 3 boys, we'll call a family meeting. And so they'll call a family meeting because mom is bossy. And she does it. We're all grown. They didn't call family meeting when we were kids because mom ruled. But now that they're grown, right, they're 20s, 40s, 30s, and 20s. So now they're grown. And they'll call family meetings because I'm bossy. And I'm demanding. I'm all of that. But I own that. That's who I am. It's part of my character. I'm very determined. That's what it is. It is what it is, right? You have to recognize it in order to fix it. Okay, let's talk about opportunities. Now, opportunities are external. So if you're talking about personal development, you're talking about in the marketplace. Like right now, I did a thing at TVA a couple of 3 weeks ago, and we were talking about opportunities in the marketplace. So when you look out in the marketplace, if you're trying to get hired into a certain position, what does that look like? Because right now, everybody's looking for the next thing up, right? Everybody's trying to up level. So what do most people have? Most people already have the credentials for the degree. What they don't have is they don't have tech, like they don't have a minor. They have a major, be it business, be it tech, be it whatever. But most people don't have a minor. So if they're all business, then they don't have the technical knowledge. Or if they're all tech, then they don't have business acumen. So that's an edge. Because the way technology is going, you have to have both. And so what opportunities are people in the industry missing that you could capitalize on? Okay, so opportunities are things that other people don't have, that you have, that can be a bonus, a competitive edge for you. And that's in business and that's personal. So what opportunities are out there for you? And that's looking at competitors, that's looking at the marketplace, that's looking at in business or in personal. What opportunities are out there for you? What's not being done right that you can do right? Because you see what your competitors are doing, you see where they're missing the mark, and you can capitalize on that. So what does that look like? And then what trends could you take advantage of? Like right now is the best time to be in Chattanooga starting small business. That's a trend that you can take advantage of. So what's going on? What's the wave? If you're doing your research, then you know what's the best industry to be in. And do you have the skills to go into that? Is that an opportunity for you? So looking at the trends and looking at your skill sets, what could you capitalize on? A lot of times I have, working with Steve, I've become friends with the people that are in his circle. And one of them is Patrice Cunningham Washington. She calls herself the Money Maven. She's on his show on Thursdays once a month. She talks about budgeting. And what Patrice talks about is she talks about, hey ladies, what Patrice talks about how when people talk about budgeting, the first thing we tell them is you need to cut, you need to cut this and you need to cut that. But what we don't talk about is how we can capitalize on our skill sets to increase our income. We talk about living in poverty and living in lack, rather than how we can use our skill sets to increase our incomes, which is a different way of thinking about it, right? So what marketable skills do we have that we can capitalize on? So when you're talking about strengths, what strengths could you turn into opportunities? Anytime I'm coaching a business, I talk to them about how can you make, like they have this main idea. I'm going to sell, like the guy yesterday, I'm going to sell beer. Okay, that's their main product. That's what they're going to do. And then I tell them, well, okay, so what's your, if that doesn't work, because anybody who's in business know that you have up cycles and down cycles in business. It's never a flat line, right? You just don't make the same amount of money every month. You just don't. I don't care what industry you're in. There are up cycles, down cycles. So in order to take advantage of the down cycles, then you have to come up with a secondary way of making money. So how can you make money in the down cycle? So you have to think of a secondary way of doing it. So what thing can you do with your strength to capitalize on you to help you to get through the down cycles? And I encourage my business owners to do that. Most times it's taking something and going outside of what if they're in brick and mortar. Then we talk about going to do catering. I taught my class last night. One lady's idea was to have a brick and mortar and doing things inside her shop. And I said, okay, well, what about taking it outside the shop and going to people's homes and doing it? And she was like, oh, right? And I can tell y'all, I'm all about revenue streams. I'm all about different ways of making money. So I don't think it's one way to make money. I think you have to, one product, 8 ways to do it. I can show you that. But what I try to do is I try to tell people, monetize what you do. There are multiple ways to make money doing one thing. You don't have to have 30 different things running. That proverb that says you can do more with one seed than many, by watering one seed than watering many. If you focus on one thing and learn how to monetize that, I told you I follow Steve, right? I follow Steve Harvey. That's my mentor. And if you notice, his thing is comedy. But he's found several ways how to use comedy in several different ways. If you turn the TV on Monday through Sunday, he's on doing something different, but he's still cracking jokes. Comedy is his thing. He's just found a different way to do it. So you have to think about how can I monetize my marketable strengths that we talked about earlier. How can I monetize them to make a secondary way of making money? That's an opportunity. And then the final one is threats. Now, threats is what trends or threats could harm you. And when you talk about threats, like the threats are, if you're in business, what are your competitors doing right? What are they doing right? What are they nailing every time? Right? What are they nailing every time? And I listen when people say, well, the Walmarts in the world, the big box in the world, they let that be a threat. But the thing about a big box is this: small business can turn like a car. Big business has to turn like a ship. Because they have to go through all the different approvals, all the different yays and nays, all the different bureaucracy and red tape. But all you have to do is make a decision and say tomorrow is green. So you have flexibility that big box doesn't have. That's an advantage. You're able to shift and you're able to see a trend and move with it. That's something big business can't do. Not quickly. Right? So you have to, so that's an advantage. So don't let because they've been here longer, or because they're established, or because they have a set number of clients. Don't let that frighten you. I go back to Netflix. The Netflix is, you know, they were unknown, right? Blockbusters was rental movies. Everybody knew Blockbusters. Everybody had a Blockbuster card, right? Everybody knew Blockbusters. There was one on every other block. And everybody rented Blockbuster movies. But then Netflix said, guess what? I'm going to do this subscription deal. Pay one fee to be in your mailbox in a day's time. They set up 54, 58 stations throughout the United States, and they ran with it. And they set it up to be a $300 million business, and they took the market. And what they do? They shut Blockbusters down. We didn't know them. Blockbusters was big box. So don't let big box scare you. Is my point there. Don't let it scare you. Because Netflix jammed. That was a case study. There's a lesson there to show you how you can come from unknown to being number one in the marketplace. It's been done before. Any questions? Anyone? Okay, so what is your competition doing? So like I said, if you're doing personal development, what is your competition doing? So when a person, if you are trying to get a higher position in the employment marketplace, then what are the people who are applying for the jobs that you're trying to get? What skill sets do they have? What certifications do they have? And that's another thing. A lot of people have education, but now the edge is certifications, right? So if you are, like, I'm a speaker. Well, now people want speakers with degrees and experience, but they also want certifications. So you join associations, you get certifications. So with that education, you get the certification. That's where the marketplace is right now. So education is not alone. It's not enough. Education alone is not enough. You have to have experience and you have to get certifications. So what certifications do the marketplace have that you need to pick up on? But that's a threat. If people are walking in, getting the jobs that I'm trying to get, and they're certified speakers, then I need to up my game in certifications. That. So recognize what's out there. What are they doing right? And then what obstacles do you have coming up? Remember, we talked about Wayne Gretzky yesterday. So Wayne Gretzky, he doesn't go where the puck was. He goes where the puck is going. And that's what you need to do when you're trying to plan forward. You need to think about, where are you going? Where are you trying to get? And you're preparing your skill set, your marketability to go where you're going. Building up those skill sets, right? What threats do your weakness expose to you? Because if you look at the top where our weaknesses are, then what things do they bring? Because your weaknesses can make you vulnerable to some things. And so what weaknesses are they going to expose you to? It's, there again, self-awareness. You need to be a self-aware business owner. You need to be a self-aware applicant if you're applying for positions. So whether it's personal development or business development, you need to be aware of self. Any questions on this? Usable?
Yes. Yes. And you can relate.
That's okay, that's okay. So now, I'm going to put you in small group. This is the next thing we're going to do. So now for those who just came in, we did SWOT analysis. So what we did is we did a SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, talking internal, whether it's internally you as an individual or you as a business owner. What strengths do you have? What weaknesses do you have? On the front part of the paper, it asks you a set of questions. We just covered those questions. It also asks about external being the competitors and those people you're going against in the marketplace, be it personal development or business development. And so we covered those questions as well. Now we're going to turn it over and you're going to do small group. And what small group will consist of is within each, I'm gonna put you, we're gonna do, I don't know how many people we have, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 people, so I'm gonna do 2 groups of 5. And what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna put you together in 2 groups of 5. I'll put one back there and one up here. And I want you to talk to each other about these questions that are on Go Deeper, right? Because here's the thing, when you're a business owner, remember yesterday I told you guys, the people that you need to meet are gonna be the people you see at gatherings like this. Because they got the memo. They got the vision. They wanna be business owners too. They understand the language. When you're talking about dreaming and you're talking about aspirations and you're talking about going next level, everybody in the room in a place like this, they're on that same level. Turn your friends, your family, your kids, the spouses, turn them loose and let them be who they are, and get you a circle of business owners and let them be the business aspect of your circle, okay? So this is where you network. This is where you exchange ideas. Some of the best ideas I've gotten or heard have been in classroom settings where business owners exchange ideas and people walk out with new ideas for their businesses and take their business next level. Like I told you, last spring I taught a class of type A, a whole class of type A, 16 people. And 3 of them have rented the Bessie Smith for next spring, and they're doing this joint venture that's gonna set this town on its ear. They got together, they met in the classroom, and they said, hey, your services, my services, let's do this. Last night I was talking to one of my students, and she's a designer, she does clothing. And I told her, you get with a makeup artist or somebody that does makeup and hair, we got a person in the room that does hair. They're gonna get together, they're gonna do some things together. So that's how you do it. We talked yesterday, right, about graphic designer, somebody that needs a logo. That's how it's done. It's done in these type settings. When you're with another business owner, another person that's trying to get next level, bouncing ideas off of each other and listening to what somebody else in the room is saying will help you tremendously, because they're gonna think about things that you haven't seen. And remember I told you about the greatness of asking your customers, going out and researching? The people in the room can give you great feedback, because if they are not your customer, they may know some people that fit your customer model, right? So we have 6 now. Okay, now we're gonna do 3 groups. 3 groups of 4. So 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4s back there. All 3s over there. 1's up here. 2's over here. Are you a 4? I'm a 4. 2's over here. 3's back over there.
I want to be able to say, here's the
I got millions of ideas here that I need to well narrow down and get on paper, make business plans. That gives the mood and the message that you would want. Basically, I go sit down, have a conversation, and then I translate that into a logo. And for the new project, it would be
I know how to make my product, but I have not made my product.
Okay.
Well, one of my business I already done launched, and the other one, I'm like her, I'm not quite sure what.
If I were in your shoes, I would never consider.
Right, because sometimes people get that
It's hard to get
threats, and
another
others always
house
get that
that would be to
stuff.
get like a
Opportunities are
nursing home
things that
facility,
other people do
because
wrong.
it's, they
Threats are
have
things
their
they're
negative
doing right.
connotation, and there are
So
a
if
lot
you're
of
gonna be a
people that
business
they
owner,
would feel
things
better
that
if
they're
they
doing
know that
right,
the parent
you have
felt
to
like
build
that
your
they were in
business
a
model with the
house.
same thing, leads to the same thing they're doing right.
But as you grow, if you
And
buy
the
more
opportunity is
homes
always
and do
added
it that way and hire
So
the
when
right
we talk
people,
about pricing,
it seems,
exactly, when we
in
talk
my
about
opinion,
pricing,
which
because a lot
doesn't
of
mean
times,
nothing,
business opportunities is what those people are doing wrong.
That you can improve.
That you could,
better
that,
next time.
absolutely. And threats are those things they're doing right? So if you're gonna build your business model, you have to start where they're doing it right, because that's what your customers are used to. And then you add value. A lot of times, new business owners go into business and they wanna go in cutting prices. They say, well, I'll get the customer because I'll go in underbid. I'll go in lower price, right? You don't do that because they've already shown you that that's the price point where you should be set. What you go in doing is you see where their threats are, right? So you go in at that level, but then opportunities is where you add value to that price. That's how you're going to get their customers.
It's taken me years to get my prices to where they are. And constantly people were saying, bigger, more price, bigger, better price, bigger, better price. Other people were telling me that in the same industry, you need to charge more, make the sandwich a little bigger.
What you do is you look at, because your competitors already shown you, people who are already making it. Yesterday, it's a such guys, right? You should have cards every time you come to a business function. Right? You should have cards. If you don't have cards and you come to the function naked, I put that in your mind, right? I put that in your mind. If you come to a business function without business cards, you have just arrived naked. And so going forward, every time you go to a business function, you're gonna say, oh, I'm not properly dressed. So I need to go get properly dressed. So you should have exchange cards. You've just added to your network of business owners, and you've just released your family and friends and kids and spouses, right? So now we're ready. Who wants to share with me what you've gotten out of small group? I need 1 or 2 people in each group to share with us what you've gotten out of small group. Go ahead.
So, wait, you said 1 or 2 things?
Yeah.
I need a business coach. Like I said,
Okay, we all need a business coach. We all need the bossy ladies to get up there and say, do, go, push.
I know I need a group rate. Yeah. I need a group rate for business coaching. Now do you realize you need business coaches, right? So that's a consensus. Everybody know that one thing. You need a business coach in your life.
We need that bossy mom cheerleader behind pushing.
Now, are you passing out business cards?
I do have business cards, but I don't come here. I am properly dressed. So I do have business cards. Yes, I do. So you all know that you need a business coach, right, to navigate these ways. But also, what else did you learn in your small group? Did you get good feedback about your strength, your weaknesses, your threats, your opportunities, right? That's what the small group was about. It was about you exchanging ideas with other people who are business owners who have gotten the same vision that you have about business ownership, right? And the exchange is phenomenal. Because you get that, and it's going to help you go next step, right? So now we're ready. So you got that one thing. So give me another.
the other thing we all agreed upon was basically protecting yourself. You know, making sure that you don't give away too much of yourself.
Absolutely. Right? That's what you're used to. Starting today, I'm going to separate that for you. If you want to do charity work, then do charity work. But everything going forward about your business is business. It's not personal. Okay? Everything that you do for the business goes to the bottom line. If you want to do charity work, once a month, pick a charity. Once a month, okay, I'm sorry. Once a month, pick a charity. Once a month, pick a charity, and then help that charity. And if somebody else comes and asks you to do something for free, tell them, okay, I've already picked my charity for this month. I'll see if I can get you scheduled for next month. Or the next month. I'll put you on my calendar, I'll get back with you.
And don't forget, sometimes things like that are promotional opportunities.
Absolutely. And that's the next thing. Thank you.
I might have done a fundraising dinner here or there for charity, but that puts my food out in front of more people who taste it and go, hey, are you available for catering?
Every dollar should bring you at least two. Every dollar that you spend should bring you two. Okay? So if you're doing charity work, it's not selfish to get some type of publicity out of it. It's not selfish to get some type of return on the investment of your time, of your efforts. You are business owners now. Okay? So charity work, pick a charity and tell them, you're my charity for the month. It makes them feel good that they're chosen. And you're doing their charity work. Because you've been giving this away for years. But now you're business owners. And now you need things going to your bottom line. You won't remain business owners if you keep giving it away. Right? Okay? You won't remain business owners. Remember I told you yesterday, 92% of Hamilton County businesses close in 5 years. 80% of them close in 3 years. You don't want to be one of those in that number. You're coming to things like this, which already gives you an edge, because you're trying to get educated. You're investing time and money into your mind. That puts you on the other side of the spectrum. Okay? So for that, you can't be doing all this work of learning, and not applying. Information is only good when you use it. Other than that, it's just information. So when you apply it, that's when it becomes valuable. That's when it becomes useful. That's when it adds money to your bottom line. So the things that you're learning this week, doing startup week, when you start putting that to work and seeing how it positively affects your bottom line, that's where you get the return on the investment of your time and of your money. Okay? So, stop giving away. Pick a charity once a month, do something nice for somebody. And if you can get marketing advantage out of that, or a lead out of that, all is well. All right? The family and friends who are using you just got cut off. Now, I can't speak of family, because I don't charge family. I never charge family, because I figure if one go up, we all go up. So I don't charge family. But friends, that's a whole different thing. Okay? I've chosen 7 ladies that I work with. And those are my friends that I do things for them and them only. That's it. That's my charity for friends. Everybody else has to pay. Until one of them drops out, then I'll do another to replace them.
I'm waiting.
I have 7. I've had 7 for 2 years now that I've worked with. So that's the thing, okay? So therefore, you have to decide, because at some point, you're gonna have to start making money. At some point. And every time that you do it free, you just move that date out some. You just move that date out some. Okay? So, therefore, starting today, you pick a charity, you do that once a month. And if you already have chosen a charity, you tell those other people, I do this service free pro bono, but I only do it for one charity, and I'm sorry, I've already chosen it for this month.
That's a good add.
Because I went to a coach, her name is Linda, and she said, I can't do it. Think on me. You just invested your time in me. So tell them, I went to a coach, I spent time with a coach, and she told me I can't do it. You can think on me, I don't mind. Okay? Got it? Excellent.
Can I say something
Yes.
about that? Just in the simple fact, like you said, it's not too much to ask for publicity or some kind of marketing. A cousin of mine is a pastry chef, and if nothing else, along her table that she has all of her stuff, she just, every time she puts the 500 cards, along with, they're picking up a cupcake and they see the card, they pick it up at that time.
Mm-hmm.
She has gotten more referrals based solely on that, because they're actually standing there eating her cupcake and going, you know what, I need her for this. So it's not that you need a big to-do or a big, banner on the top. Just say, as part of my contract, part of it is
May I put
that,
Absolutely.
can I put
And
my
I'm a public
business card?
speaker, and sometimes I go and speak to charities, but I ask them, can I do what's called back of the room sales? Meaning I'll take my book and I'll sell my book at the back of the room. And all that just comes to me. So there are times when I do this. I wanted this to be a totally free experience for you. So you see, there are no books and there are no sales here. Because I wanted this to be my gift to the industry, my gift to the business community, is I want business owners to be empowered to make informed decisions about their businesses. This is my charity for this month. And we just went on early.
We're not gonna see you another one this month, are we?
Absolutely.
This is early October.
Everything you see me in this month, you can best believe. Let us get paid and not played.
Pay and not play.
Paid and not played. That's what kind of month this is gonna be. Give the charity all the way in the beginning. So yeah. So what's another thing? Group 2. What did you all learn?
We learned quite a few things. I can say I learned quite a few things. I learned that, I don't know her name, I'm sorry, what is your friend's name? Judy? Judy has a company that I'm really interested in.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited about that, and I'm excited that he is knowledgeable on the other aspects of it. He's the accountant, but he's knowledgeable in the other aspects of it. He's just the dollars, he's, first in some of the other areas as far as her strengths and the market, and I'm excited for her. So,
Absolutely.
I taught him, because although he's the accountant, I wanted him to understand what the issues are, why I created what I created,
Right.
and who is it going to serve the most, and why I'm targeting certain people right now. It may grow from there, and I have zillions of ideas in my head, but we want to launch it and be very specific in serving large and curvy women, shaky women, and to be able to give them comfortable underwear that it'll adjust to their figure. He didn't get it when he's coming in as an accountant. He just kind of looked at me kind of like, and so I started getting very descriptive, but he understands the product, he understands what I'm doing when I speak to people boldly and say, this is what I got, because it's real and we're taking care of a real problem, and we don't have to have any shame to our game.
Absolutely. And that's what you want. That's an example for all your team members. Is your team needs to consist of people who are just as passionate about what you're doing as you are. You don't need stragglers. You don't need people who are just in to be in there. You need people who are passionate, just as passionate as you are, because you're going to be doing a lot of work. People will work 90 hours just not to work 40 for somebody else. And so you need people who are committed to the product, enough to learn, open enough to learn about your product, so that when they're talking to them, they're actually talking to you.
right,
They
and
need
that's
to
the
share
advice
the
that I
vision.
got from him was.
That's excellent.
So
example.
Well, I told him, I said, he says, well, I go into these groups and, and I don't know what to tell him, and I said, tell him you're into women's underwear.
I got a visual.
That's hilarious.
They won't ask anymore.
The opportunities, we were talking about, you just mentioned, we're focused on curvy women, that's our biggest focus right now. But there's opportunities in all underwear.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's our competitor, It's not just curvy, but that's what
That's where we're gonna start.
Get our foot in.
Absolutely.
But as far as she's found ways to, fix rollover, and I'm not heavy, but I have to roll over in my underwear,
I have guys, when they hear about it, start bagging me like, are you gonna do men? I'm like, well, I gotta start someplace, and I can't stretch myself so thin, but we see opportunity for a lot of things.
Absolutely.
And
we talked about that earlier. We talked about opportunities to make another way. You have to think of more than one way to make money with your business. You can't be so pigeonholed to thinking, I'm gonna do this and this alone. Because businesses has up cycles and down cycles, and you have to figure out ways to make money, whether it's on the up cycle or whether it's on the down cycle. So you need alternative methods of making money, and that's a good thing.
Well, like, for example, thinking out of the box, we started talking, I'm going to go to bariatric support groups. And, you know, because I'm a former bariatric patient, and, you know, when you start losing weight extremely quickly, the adjustable underwear will, you don't have to be buying underwear every couple of weeks, because you can adjust them down to fit you accordingly. As your shape changes, you don't have to go get new underwear.
How wonderful is that?
It's fantastic.
How wonderful is that? How wonderful is that? You know, and so that's how you need to think as business owners. Think about other ways of making money, other ways of monetizing what you do, right? So that's great. That's great. Excellent idea. Excellent idea. What else did you learn?
What else did we talk about? Oh, these two. We learned that this one needs her because he has to hire people to go do the cleaning so that he can attend things like this. And Shasta's issue is she wants her business to be that person that goes to events like this so that he can do what he's doing and that she can network and get his name out and talk to people and get potential clients and then take that back to him.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we learned that networking works.
It does. And you notice how it went through a swap and they ended up sitting right beside each other.
Right.
Because it always works. It always works out. It works out. Things work out. Whatever's coming to you comes to you. I'm just a believer of that. Excellent group too. So what do we got back here?
I learned that we each face such diverse issues. Like, he has a lot more regulations on him because he's serving food.
Absolutely.
And I have a lot.
But we have that narrow niche, at
Right,
least
and
initially in common.
we have a narrow niche in common, but at the same time, we see our issues are very diverse. But at the same time, sitting back and looking, we were able to kind of throw things back at each other because we're niched, but it's niched for a reason at this point, for growth. And our problems are quite opposite. I don't have all that regulation, but sitting back, I could see, you know, I could offer up some ideas coming from my angle.
Absolutely. 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 And so that's why small groups are more important in settings like this. And one time you go to sessions, you have a person in front of you and they're lecturing you the whole time. So you don't get to get this dynamic. And you miss out on relationships and you miss out on finding people who can actually help you solve that pain point that you walked in the room with. So then you leave and you feel like, okay, that was good, but what do I do next? And so I wanted to make certain that you had time, ample time, to spend with each other so that you can converse, so that you can find answers. Because that's the whole thing about it, is building your community. You're gonna need a network of people. Anyone who thinks, and a lot of people go into it thinking, I'm an island and I can build this by myself. And you know I have a cousin, he said, what was I thinking? But you need people. You need people. You need a team. You need a team that you can have as an advisory team, who are not really your team, but they're just people you can bounce ideas off of. You need people in the network who can support you, who can refer you. Some of the best jobs I've gotten through my business, I've gotten because somebody saw what I was doing and put my name down as a suggestion for somebody else. And that's how it works. That's how it works. And so that's why this part of the session was so important to me to bring to you all, because I wanted to make sure that you had something tangible to take out of the room. We're going to go to the last part of this, and then we'll be done. So the wrap up, which is on the back, you have follow-up questions. How can you make your strengths stronger? What new opportunities could be created from your strengths that you haven't thought of yet? What opportunities could be exciting or profitable to take action on? And how could your strengths be used to mitigate or remove your weaknesses and threats, right? I concentrate, when I'm counseling someone, I concentrate on their threats. I concentrate on their weaknesses because I want them to think about those and have action plans. That's where we work, because I can turn your weakness into a strength. I can help you get there. That's part of what business coaching is about. It's working over that negative area and helping you to see it another way. Helping you to see solutions over it. Because what I find is, most business owners, those are the things you're worried about. That's what you're worried about. How do I get there? How do I combat that? And so that's where I go. That's where I go first. And then we start trying to improve those strengths so that your strengths are manifested too, and they become even stronger. And you use those to capitalize on those as well. And those are the things we highlight when we're trying to market you. Tip about marketing while we're there. Stick a pin in that. While we're marketing you, if you're marketing about your business, you don't market about your business, you market about the pain point of the customer. Look at the commercials about the prescription drugs. What do they tell you? They tell you what's going on with the patient, right? Do you have headaches? Are you depressed? Is your stomach doing this? They market to the pain point of the patient. You should be marketing to the pain point of your customer. So if you want a strong marketing plan, build it on the pain point of your customer so that your customer knows that you're the solution. Give them their pain point so they can identify how you fit into what they're going through. Then tell them about the solution, right? Because even though those pills will kill you,
Yeah, they give you all the bad stuff afterwards.
you're going to be worse off when you
side effects.
People still go to the doctor and ask the doctor for those pills.
Right.
Even though the drug companies tell you, this is going to make you worse off than you were when you started. You started with one diagnosis, you're going to have 12 when you get through with it. But people still go to their doctors and ask for them.
I have awesome pain points from my product. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's what you're going to market to. You're going to start your marketing plan, your strong marketing plan, marketing to the pain point of your customer. That's going to get their attention. You know why it's going to get their attention? It's a pain point. And they feel like nobody hears it. They feel like nobody knows what they're going through. You're going to be relatable right off the bat. That's going to get their attention. Okay? That's a whole marketing strategy I do for Brightbridge. It's called Marketing 101, right? It's about, let's see, what is the name of it? I'm not even doing it this month. I think I'm doing it in November. But this month, what I'm doing is on the 13th, I am doing BYOB, Build Your Own Business. I'm teaching people how to do business plans, how to write your own business plan. And that's on the 13th from 5:30 to 8:30 at Brightbridge. Can you repeat that again? It's called BYOB, and it's Build Your Own Business. And I'm teaching people how to write their own business plans.
On the 13th?
On the 13th, from 5:30 to 8:30.
Where?
565 Chestnut. But you have to go to brightbridgewomen'sbusinesscenter.org, and it's free. But you have to pre-register. Brightbridge, that's one word, 2 capital B's. So I'm doing that on the 13th, and then on the 25th, I'm doing Social Awesomeness 101, which I'm teaching people how to increase their social media acumen. And that's at 5:30 to 8:30 as well, on the 25th, and that's at Brightbridge as well. So those are 2 things we're doing. Next month, I'm going to do a marketing class, right? And it's about laser focused marketing. I'm going to teach people how to find their public. Because we talked earlier about it's better to get 18% of the population that want, need, and can pay for your product than to market to 100% and have 82% of them turn you off. You're wasting your money. So what I do is I teach you about psychographics, about lifestyles, how to market according to lifestyles. I teach you how to go deeper than just demographics. We talk about psychographics, and we talk about demographics as well, but we also talk about geography. how to use your marketing strengths to make a better marketing product. So that's what that is about, and I'm gonna do that in November. I haven't scheduled it yet, okay? But I do all kind of business training, and even though it's at the Women's Business Center, it's for men and women. It's just that they have the federal dollars to do the class to pay me, okay?
What was the website again?
The website is brightbridgewbc.org, womensbusinesscenter.org.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you, if I were to hire you,
Mhm.
do you have access and information, like, I'm considered a disabled person for, because I have like these chronic lifetime issues,
Mhm.
and I'm female, and many people have said that I should take advantage of that title
When you're
to
doing
help me with
government.
my business.
To the government, right, you should,
And I have no clue what that means.
then you need to be in touch with the Bright Bridge Women's Business Center. They can tell you all about that.
Okay, that's where I would go.
Absolutely. And all of you, men and women.
I was about to say, yeah, and.
All of you need to be in touch with them because they can tell you how to get the best information about that. Because that is right. There is a certification that you can put on your business that puts you in the head of the line because of your disability, because you're a woman, that goes with being a business owner.
Okay.
Most definitely. Another reason why you should call them and make the appointment.
That's great, thank you.
So going through these questions, so the consolidate specific learning, you're going to do that, those questions there. And this is something you can do away from, you don't have to do this here. And then the next step is very important to me, and that's why it's in blue. I need you to do, what will you do? Take a look at your notes and answers and identify 3 action steps that you will take as a result of what you've learned today. I need you, because I'm all about time, right? We talk about SMART goals. SMART goals are those things that are very specific, they are measurable, they are attainable, right? They're realistic, and then they're timed. SMART goals. So the SMART are acronyms. Right in time. That's my timer telling me my time is up. So I need you to make SMART goals. I need you to write down 3 action steps that you will take as a result of what you've learned here today. Okay? And I need you to put them on the paper because I want you to hold yourself accountable. You have spent 2 hours with me, and I want you to make the best of those 2 hours. Your time as a business owner is very valuable, so you don't have time to waste. What 3 things will you be doing after today that's going to improve your business things, that's going to be for the better of you and of your business? And hold yourself accountable. You also have an evaluation. It is front and back. Please, 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 please complete that for me before you leave. I hope today has been valuable to you. It's certainly been valuable to me. And I will see you the next time.
Well, from the first class, definitely got reassurance that what I was doing was the right thing to be doing. And from the second class, I got a lot more solid knowledge of how to do that thing I need to do. Definitely need to get a business coach for one, but also learn how to protect myself more in a business and not do things for free. And keep pursuing this dream of mine that I know I'm good at.
Today's session with Linda was amazing for me. We talked about our strengths, our opportunities, and our threats, and she really just gave some really great nuggets on looking honestly at where your business is versus where you want to go. And for me, that is exactly what I needed. So I just wanted to say thank you. This is a great session, and we'll see you next time.
Well, I did the seminar with Linda Murray Bullard on dreams and just how to get business started. It was very insightful. It was very good. Just got very motivated. We could identify our obstacles, what our objectives were in creating our own business, and very important to setting our goals and be able to track how we're doing with those.